The working title, actually, this is fun. You like this. The working title for the original Star Wars was actually Blue Harvest.
That's incredible. I love that.
Right, it's really
Great.
good. Yeah. Also, did you know the original working title for original Star Wars, was actually Blue Harvest?
My goodness.
Yeah.
Keep it a little secret there.
Yeah, well, that's just some Spielberg continuity because
That's
he
true, yeah.
directed this movie and also the first Star Wars. A lot of people
That's
don't know
very
that.
true, yeah.
All right. This is fun. So the original title of Star Wars from 1977 was actually Blue Harvest.
That's incredible.
That needed a working title because it was such a big hit. When they were filming it, they actually needed something to disguise the production of it as to keep costs down, to keep fans storming the set.
Like a stormtrooper.
That's exactly. And that's
Because
what-
they were like...
they all knew what that was.
They were going to like... They're like, we're going to storm this like a stormtrooper.
It's a big hit, so yeah. A lot of people don't know that. So Blue Harvest, etc., so forth. That joke, Mason.
Yeah, love it.
Yep, good. And I'll just end on this, Mason,
Go on.
before we do box office. Like all MCU Phase 2 movies, somebody loses an arm or a hand or something, which is a homage to The Empire Strikes Back. Now, in a similar bit of Star Wars trivia, did you know the original Star Wars had the working title of Blue Harvest?
I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, so that's some good stuff to kind of
It's a good
pull
piece
that
of
out
trivia
of
to
it.
end on.
Yeah, if you're in a pub,
Yeah, or at a pub quiz.
Yep.
Everything's riding on it. That's the last question.
Yep.
Trust us.
Bang,
Star
bang.
Wars Blue Harvest.
You got it. You won that meat platter.
That's right.
It's interesting because this movie's working title was actually the same name as the movie. So it was Alien vs. Predator, which is not dissimilar from the original working title for Star Wars 1977, which was Blue Harvest.
Terrific.
Yeah,
That's a
I
great
know,
bit of
right?
trivia.
Yeah. The working title of this movie was actually Blue Harvest,
That's
which
interesting.
was the same working title for the original Star Wars from 1977.
So the fans wouldn't cotton on.
That's
the
right.
Secrets.
They didn't know. Exactly. Now, a lot of vegetation, obviously, on a big movie like this, needed to be cultivated for various like landscape scenes and backgrounds and farms and whatnot. And this time around, they did a similar thing. And under certain lights, it would give it like a blue hue, which then led to the working title of this movie, which was Blue Harvest.
That's interesting.
Funnily enough, Mason, the same working title for the original Star Wars from 1977.
Well, that's trivia-rific.
And pure coincidence. Isn't that great?
It's trivia-rific.
Oh, this is great. You probably remember this, but when Viggo Mortensen kicked the helmet in The Two Towers, you've probably seen this footage, he actually broke his toe in the process, but he stayed in the scene in doing that. So that scream is real. That scream where he screamed Blue Harvest, that was the real anger and pain that he was feeling. And because of that, those words, Blue Harvest, became the working title for not only the original Star Wars, but also this movie, Mason.
That's great stuff.
Isn't it just? The working title for this movie was actually Blue Harvest, which was weird because that was also the working title of the original Star Wars.
Interesting.
I checked to see whether those things are related. It's actually not.
Huh.
Pure coincidence. I think they would have gone with Green Harvest.
That's right.
Here's some other names which were considered for Hulk.
Okay, right.
Yeah, Eric Bana was never asked to come back, right?
Damn.
Yeah, I think also he was like, it's a one and done for me anyway. I never assumed this was going to go for 40 years.
Yeah. This was Hulk 2003 was pre everybody being locked in for 10 movies. I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So other names include Dominic Purcell, Prison Break. Anybody?
Oh yes.
Dave.
He, of course, later got a CW superhero role.
Oh yeah, he did. David Duchovny, Jeff Goldblum, Matthew McConaughey, Liev Schreiber.
Whoa.
And this is interesting. I've written here, and Blue Harvest. But actually, they couldn't get Blue Harvest in the end because Blue Harvest is not actually an actor.
Go on.
It's the working title for the original Star Wars from 1977.
The original title for this movie, though, was, of course, The Credible Hulk.
So much of the swampland in this had to be artificially created scenes. Is that, yes, it was filmed on location in Sydney.
In the outback in Sydney.
That's right. In Sydney, Australia, it's a it looks like a regular suburb, a lot of it. It doesn't have crazy swamp climate. It's like, it can be pretty mild most of the time, but it's not ideal for a swamp setting, is it, Mason? So
Is this? Are we being sponsored by the City of Sydney Tourism Board?
We're not a big-
It's not a big swamp or nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Sometimes weather's fine. I think.
So the plants actually used in this weren't suited to the environment and resulted in a bad-smelling blue-green algae, which took over the set, which the crew jokingly referred to as the Blue Harvest. Now,
Oh, here he goes.
Now, funnily enough, Mason,
Go on.
just by pure coincidence, Blue Harvest was also the working title, I should say, for the original Star Wars in 1977.
Wow.
And no other movies, I believe. Now, the box office for this, you're not going to believe this. This shocked me. There was a $5 million budget for this movie.
I mean, you got to get all those plants to Sydney, so.
Yeah. I lied about the swamp thing. I
Oh.
didn't. They didn't really grow a swamp. I mean, they built a set. Now, in the DVD commentary, which I definitely listened to,
Go
The
on.
Rock incorrectly calls Branscombe Richmond Branscombe Richards, which is ridiculous because to his friends, Branscombe Richmond is actually named Blue Harvest. That's what they call him.
Nice.
Now, he
Good
was
work.
named after. It's actually a fun little in-joke. I don't know if you know this, but the working title for the original Star Wars, it wasn't Branscombe Richmond's.
Oh.
It was Blue Harvest, and that happens to be how we got that particular name.
I'm fascinated to how you're going to keep this bit going for the rest of our lives.
I'll just get sick of it and stop doing it.
Oh, yeah, that's
But then
probably
everyone
true.
will keep doing it in the comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this actually, which doesn't surprise me at all, it struggled to get an appropriate rating for a cinematic release. 20 minutes plus of gore had to be removed.
That's just in the last action sequence. It's just them beating up Dracula for 20 more minutes.
I would love that. But that actually didn't help due to the sexual nature of the film. One producer actually chastised Coppola for it being too rude or blue, which led to the working title of this film being Blue Harvest.
He's
which,
done it again, folks.
Funnily enough, was the working title for the original Star Wars from
Is writing that-
1977.
If I may, James, is writing that the hardest work you do all week? It might be.
Some of that is true though. Which parts? It's up to you. Now, something interesting about harvesting organs, etc. Blue Harvest, the joke that I do.
Oh, yes.
I just didn't like. Am I going to keep doing this? Is this the last one? I don't know.
Might be the last one.
Yeah. Wow. End of an era. Or I'll just bring it back for no reason.
Oh, sure, yeah. Let's put a pin in it for now.
Yeah.
Let the comments run wild.
Yep.
And then maybe bring it back later.
Absolutely.